Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Evanston. My name is Janelle Brittain. I will be your worship associate today. I use she and her pronouns. Whether this is your spiritual home or you're newly discovering this wonderful community, we're grateful to share this time together. We strive to be an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking truth and love in a nurturing human spirit, nurturing the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love, and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind, and to work with each other in tenderness and careful attention, and to dedicate ourselves more fully to living our shared values. Welcome to those joining us online. I hope you have your chalices ready. People of all ages are welcome here and are an important part of our faith community. We are blessed to have the children in our sanctuary for the first half of every service, and the entire service once a month for our service of all ages. The nest, which is what we call this area over here, is our designated area for families and young children, where we have quiet fidget toys, activities, and kid-friendly order of service. We encourage our parents and caregivers in the nest to help support our youngest members of the community to participate in this service in a respectful and engaged way. Nursery care is also available every Sunday in room 11 downstairs. You can access it from the stairs at the back. As part of being a welcoming and inclusive community, we have some information posted on our screen over here, and we have some announcements. The Serendipity auction is delighted to announce that we've officially met our goal of $28,000. Yay! This incredible achievement was only possible because of your creativity, your generosity, and your countless hours of love poured into the auction donations, the event hosting, volunteer work, and spirited bidding. If you placed a winning bid, you can pick up your auction items at the tables over here, and Mirabeth's waving over there, right after the service. With full hearts and deep gratitude, thank you for making Serendipity shine. And something else that just went away here. And can we ask those who helped with the auction to rise, to stand up, helped in any way? Anybody who helped with the auction, whether you donated something, you spent some hours doing something, stand up. In addition to Chris Allender and Mike Takata, who aren't able to be with us today, we are so thankful for all of your hard work and supporting our congregation's mission. This week on Wednesday, November 12th, from 7 to 8:30, UCE members who travel to Alabama for the Living Legacy pilgrimage will be sharing about their experiences and their learnings in a panel presentation hosted by the Racial Equity Action Leadership Team, also known as REAL Team. We hope that you'll be able to join us, and it can either be online or over here in, I think it's room 3. And if you have any questions about it, ask Becky Crawford, Cheryl Mounts, or Allison Issen. Raise your hands. There's any of those 3 people here? Back there? Okay. One of you's here. All right. Today after worship from 12:30 to 1:30 in room 3 is something a lot of you have been looking forward to, which is the music program hosting a community singing circle. And it's led by Megan Eberhardt from the Old Town School of Music. No experience is needed, and you don't have to sing on key. Okay. Songs will be taught on the spot. Come share the simple joy of singing together. It's free. They will be asking for a free will offering if you like. All are welcome, and children are welcome with an adult. If you have any questions, find Ellie Fedderson after the service. Ellie, are you here? In the back, okay. And now, let us settle together, gather our attention, and share this time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. As we begin our worship service, let's quiet our electronics and our bodies as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship. That was fun, thank you. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides in the traditional homelands of the Ojibwa, Odawa, and Potawatomi Indians. Once used by nomadic tribes, they shared the Algonquin culture and language. From 1760, the Potawatomi villages populated this land. After decades of violent encroachment by the French, British, and then the U.S.-American white settlers, the Potawatomi community were forcibly removed west of the Mississippi River. We also remember the networks of Black people, African-American ancestors, who built our country's culture and economy, originally through forced labor and uncompensated labor. We acknowledge the impacts of the intentional violence of enslavement, the theft of labor and exploitation which echo through the generations and remain a reality today. We offer these acknowledgments as one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to incorporate these admissions into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. Please join in our words of shared commitment. We name these with honor for the respect for all our descendants and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space. Barbara Butts and Rob, is he in the kitchen? If we can get him to come out. Oh, you're here. Okay. Brought the flowers in honor of their 38th anniversary. Yay! Come on up. Come on up. As they light our chalice, the symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying the words on the screen by Reverend Michelle Collins, "The Miracles in Mundane Moments." We light this chalice for eyes that see miracles in mundane moments. May this flame remind us that gratitude grows not through waiting for extraordinary gifts, but through noticing the ordinary blessings surrounding us daily.
Good morning. Hi. All right, guys. We did this last week. I wonder if anybody knows what's happening next. Does anybody? Kathy knows. What are we doing next? It is I think I heard it. It's the covenant. Yeah. Okay. So this may be a tall order, but does anyone remember the words to the covenant? Does anybody want to read the covenant for us today? You'd be leading the whole service in doing it. You want to come read? Oh my goodness, yes, please. Perfect. Please, would you tell me your name?
Izzy.
Izzy. Hi, Izzy. And Leo's here too. Oh my goodness, thank you, you guys. All right. So I'm going to whisper the word to you, and you can say it. And when you say the line, the whole congregation is going to say it with you. It's going to probably feel pretty cool. Are you ready? All right, you ready? Love is the spirit of this church. You want to read it? No. No?
Love is the spirit of this church.
Yeah.
You don't have to use your big voice.
No.
Do you guys want a little bit of help?
I can help them repeat it.
Okay.
You say it.
All right. Love is
Ready?
the spirit.
1, 2, 3. Love is the spirit of this church. Service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Thank you, guys. And before we sing our opening hymn, I invite you all here in the sanctuary to say hello to each other, looking for someone you may not have seen before. And I invite those of you online to greet each other in the chat. It is so good to be together, isn't it? Listening to all of you, it's hard to stop. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Yeah. I invite you to all keep creating connections. You'll have opportunity at kinship hour after service. Let's keep building beloved community together. So if you are new to this congregation, to this building, to this space, we invite you to come to the welcome table, which has a red tablecloth that's at the back of the sanctuary. After the service, stop by the table, ask any questions you have, say hello, and get oriented. We welcome you here. So let's remain risen as we sing our first hymn for all that is our life, which is number 128.
Okay? All right, so the story for all ages today, you guys, is called Gratitude is My Superpower. I bet you guys know what a superpower is. You probably all have your own superpower, right? Do you know what gratitude is? It's kind of like being thankful for something, which, you know, 'tis the season. Like, you know, markers to share. Okay, so this is Gratitude is My Superpower by Alicia Ortego. Hi, my name is Betsy, and this is Mr. T. I am only 7, but he is 70. You wouldn't know to look at him, but he never seems to age. He slowly moves around the house and doesn't have a cage. One day when I was playing with him, I suddenly felt quite sad. What's the matter? Mom said. You're usually so glad. It's Mr. T, I said to her. I think there's something wrong. To carry that big house all day, he has to be so strong. Do you think it stops him from having fun like me? I've never seen him run or jump as happy as can be. Oh, my dear, you mustn't worry. Mr. T is fine. Turtles have different needs in life. They're not like yours or mine. The nature of a turtle is harmless, quiet, and shy. They love to hide inside their shells when people pass them by. So Mr. T is very grateful for everything he's got, which means he doesn't worry about things he has not. Let's play a game together, Mom said. I call it gratitude. It'll help you understand Mr. T. Are you in the mood? Mom takes me to the garden, and just behind the flowers, picking up a stone, she says, this has superpowers. Every time you're upset when things don't go as planned, you take out your gratitude stone and hold it in your hand. The stone will work its magic, and soon you'll begin to see everything that's happening is how it's meant to be. No sooner had we gone back inside, the sky began to rain. Tears began to fill my eyes. I wanted to go out again. Remembering my special stone, I squeezed with all my might. What could I be grateful for when rain was in my sight? But just then, I remembered Without it, plants won't grow, fish wouldn't live in the sea, and rivers wouldn't flow. Thank you, sky, for raining. You're really rather clever. Now I know the job you do. You can rain whenever. Next morning, when it was time to wake, my body's filled with dread. Going to school is the last thing I want. I'd rather stay home instead. Beneath my pillow is my stone. I squeeze it once again, remembering the friends I'd see and my teacher, Mrs. Blaine. At school, I had forgotten today was sibling day. I don't have any siblings. You know what siblings are, guys? Brothers and sisters. I don't have any siblings, so I didn't know what to say. My stone will have the answer, I thought. I'll squeeze it and we'll see. Of course, I said. I am grateful because I have Mr. T. At dinner time, it worked again when Mom put down my plate. No yummy cake, but rice and veg, which I didn't appreciate. But then I remembered the children who aren't as lucky as me to have a healthy, warm meal cooked by their mummy. At bedtime, when I'm not tired and I want to play instead, I'm grateful for my turtle PJs and warm, cozy bed. But just then, I remember I'm not even carrying the stone. Mom, I shout, I did gratitude and I did it on my own. Of course you did, my darling, because gratitude is in there. Upon my heart, she places her hand. With the other, she strokes my hair. So, gratitude's in all of us, I said, and all we have to do is stop and think how thankful we are instead of feeling blue. Next day during playtime, there's a new boy there with shiny braces on his teeth and curly light brown hair. Tears are falling down his face. He wished he had not moved, a decision made by his parents and he had not approved. I tell him of the gratitude stone and ask if we can find something to be thankful for that he can bear in mind. He holds the stone and thinks a minute, a smile across his face. I'm thankful for our new home. The garden has so much space. Now, every time I go out, I make sure to have with me at least one stone to pass on, along with my story.
I invite us to settle now into a time of quiet reflection as we share our joys and sorrows. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share, there are a few ways you can share it with us. There's the book, which is usually at the back of the sanctuary that you can write in each Sunday. You can also send an email to one of the ministers, or you can fill out the form on the website. We listen to these offerings with tenderness. And it's a privilege to witness one another in this way, I think. So let us all quiet our bodies and our voices during this sacred time by breathing in together and breathing out. These are the joys and the sorrows that have been shared with us this week. We have a joy that decaf is back at the Fair Trade Cart, so check it out for holiday giving. We have from Joyce Lofstrom, she says that she has a joy and a sorrow. Joyce Lofstrom. So the two sides of the same situation are that her thyroid cancer has returned as a spot in her lung. The good news is that it's papillary thyroid cancer, the same cancer that she's had off and on since she was 25. Right now, there's no treatment, no surgery. They're just watching it via scans every 3 months. It's not currently life-threatening, and it's typically slow-growing. If it changes, newer treatments target the specific genetics of the tumor with a daily pill. And the sorrow is that her irritation that the cancer returned. And she says that that's minor when she looks at the big picture of life. Joyce, we hold you in our hearts. Thank you for sharing with us. Carol Nielsen shares a joy. She says, thanks to everyone who helped her and Brian during her recent back surgery. She says the rides, food, telephone calls, emails, visits, and general goodwill help her heal. She says, I am not there yet, but learning to use my new grabber so I don't bend down. Cheers to the church community, her gratefulness for the medical care and the wonder of the human body. We have a sharing from Elaine Siegel. She says, 11 years ago, at the age of 98, her father crossed over peacefully in the middle of the night of the holy days of All Saints and All Souls. We don't know which. So at this time of the year, we honor him doubly. A veteran of World War II, a fighter for social justice, perhaps a saint, and certainly a man of great soul. His memory is a joy and a great blessing. Thank you for sharing with us. Sarah Devaney shares that it's been 8 years today since we put our beloved dog Lucky to sleep, and she misses him each and every day. And finally, Lena Hilko shares, she has a concern and invites your positive energy this Thursday, November 13th, when her prison pen pal Daniel will receive the opportunity in court to ask for the chance to plead for resentencing. Daniel was convicted of a crime committed at age 17. Although Illinois has reformed its laws on juvenile sentencing, the changes are not retroactive and do not apply to Daniel and many others like him. This Thursday will be an emotional day for Daniel and his family. There is much work to be done around juvenile resentencing and parole opportunities. Sharing these concerns of the heart is part of the practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and lessen the burden of our grief. You are invited to light a candle and drop a stone into the well of tears at one of the 3 stations located at the front and the sides of the sanctuary. If you would like a candle brought to you, you may raise your hand and you may light the candle at any time during the service. We will begin. Please, would you join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation? This month, during the month of gratitude, we have been invited into a practice of prayer. As Unitarian Universalists, that can look so many different ways. And just a brief witnessing to you that when I was serving as a chaplain at Loyola University Medical Center, and I had to pray with all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds, I noticed that witnessing them was burden lifting and relieving and healing, but praying with people, it landed in such a deeper way. I don't know what it was, but it touched something in the heart that just words of other kinds just couldn't. And so I've seen firsthand and become to a place of great appreciation for the power of prayer. And now if the word prayer does not work for you, I honor that. Maybe a meditation might be a way for you that could work. As I was learning to pray with all of these different people who were facing very human struggles and facing the frailties and changes that happen in life, I came to appreciate a certain rhythm and pattern to the prayer that I found to be particularly helpful. So I'm going to share that with you. I invite you to adapt it in whatever way suits you best. And if you just want to sit in presence as a form of meditation, I invite you to do that. The way that I learned to pray, as a person who grew up with no religion whatsoever, looks like this. It starts with a moment of centering and presence. Usually, I take a deep breath in. You're welcome to breathe with me. And then I name what's on my heart. Usually, there's a struggle. There's pain in the world, always. And I feel it in my body, and I just name it. Times are hard, and we are all going through something. I think it helps to just name it and be real about what's going on. After the naming, I usually enter in some kind of an aspiration or a non-prescriptive hope. This isn't petitioning. This is an open invitation to walking in faith in the world or traveling in faith in the world. It's aligning of our intentions and aspirations. And then I close with a gratitude, because there's always something to be grateful for. So I'm going to do it right now. Spirit of life and love within us and among us and around us, nurturing us, seeing us through all the phases of life in the unfolding explosion of the universe. I am but one body. We are all but one body. I name that there are many hard things happening. We've heard some in the joys and sorrows. We hear it in the news every day. We see it on the faces of people we encounter. I make space for all of it. I ask that I and that others rise to the occasion to meet what comes. That we find the type of presence and perspective and compassion that is needed in each moment. I am grateful for the opportunity to practice these things with all of you together. More than I can say. Blessed be and amen. I always forget this part. We're going to sing our kids out. And as we sing, we invite you to name the holy as you feel called. The words as written by the author are on the screen, or you can call it however you like. And as our young people, preschool through 9th grade, are invited to head to their faith formation time with their adult leaders, let us sing them out.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. This month offering will be shared with Restored Justice Foundation, whose mission is to make Illinois a safer and more compassionate state by replacing ineffective, extreme sentencing policies of the past with evidence-based laws that allow families and communities to heal. You may text to give, mail in a check, put cash in the collection bowls today, or give from our website later. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line of your check if it's for shared offering or some other giving category. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy. Thank you, Andrew and Gregory. That was beautiful. Thank you for your generosity. The reading today is called Gratitude by Rosemary Watola Tromer. Gratitude, it happens, needs less room to grow than one might think. It is able to find purchase even on the slenderest of ledges. It is able to seed itself in even the poorest of soils. Just today, I marveled as at a small gratitude took root in the desert of inside me, like a juniper tree growing out of red rock. If I hadn't felt it myself, I might not have believed it, but it's true. One small thankfulness can slip into an arid despair, and with it comes a change in the inner landscape, the scent of evergreen.
Beautiful as always. Oh, beloveds, what's been on my mind recently more than anything else is the ICE raids. Just yesterday in my own neighborhood, 3 people were abducted from the park near my house. 1 was abducted a block away from me. People being kidnapped while they work, kids not knowing whether their parents will come home. It is unconscionable. And I just can't seem to stop thinking about it. How many of you have witnessed firsthand an abduction? How many of you have heard of one in your neighborhood? Yeah. And how many of you have read about it, at least on the news? It has impacted all of us. And not long ago, just outside of my kids' school, a man was detained. He was honking to let people know about the unmarked ICE vehicle, and they got out of their car and pulled a gun on him and threatened to smash his windows and hauled him away. And he was an American citizen. And this was directly outside of my children's school while they were in session. So the school went into shutdown. I imagine the faces of my own children if someone had to come to them and say, your mom is not coming back. We don't know if they're ever coming back. Every time I see a yard crew, a work truck, a brown Latinx appearing person, my body tenses in vigilance and concern. This isn't just impacting immigrants. We are experiencing vicarious trauma. And it makes me so angry And for me, the SNAP benefit cutoffs feel very personal. As one of the majority of Americans who has depended on SNAP for nutritional assistance as a grown person, it feels very personal. And this cruelty that's just two things. This cruelty is not isolated, it is a coordinated effort. It's meant to intimidate and overwhelm us and shut us down. It's been called the shock doctrine. I wonder which part of all of this feels most personal to you. Is it the sense of loss over a recognizable government? Is it the vicarious fear and grief of families being separated? Is it the dismantling of DEI? The defunding of healthcare? The loneliness epidemic? The deep division in our country that's making the loneliness epidemic worse? The ever widening division of inequality and wealth? And even if you're not being directly targeted by any of these things, living in a world where these things is happening is such a heavy thing to bear. Bearing witness to trauma takes a toll. That's the vicarious trauma. And there's complicated grief over all of these losses. And I think we need to feel our way through the grief. But we can't live there indefinitely. That would be self-defeating. It would be ceding ground to those who want to take it. So I'm naming the grief here today, not to stay there, not to wallow with you, although a minute of that would kind of be nice. But I think we have to acknowledge the hardness before we can soften it. So how do we do that? How do we keep going? Many of us, I know, are frustrated and angry at the least. But frustration and righteousness can only take us so far. These are high energy states. They burn hot and fast. A deep sense of indignance can move us to action. It can get us protesting and demonstrating, but it cannot keep us going for the long haul. It is not sustainable. So the metaphor I conjured for this sermon, I see the current political landscape as hard soil. It's barren, unwatered, unable to sustain and nurture life. It's soil that has been over-farmed by anger and fear and extractive capitalism. And the nutrients of collective care have been removed as much as possible from the soil through our labor, through our outrage and shock. And this sense of frustration and indignance and outrage, they're like the last mad effort to squeeze something righteous out of that barren landscape. Wild and fierce like a weed that shoots up in parched ground. But even righteous indignation, even the weeds can't live long without water. Our outrage gives rise to the actions that we take in these times. Our outrage serves a purpose, and I welcome it, but a monoculture of outrage cannot sustain the ecosystem. So for the long haul, we need to tend to the soil of our lives, to rejuvenate what has been depleted, and to nurture our call to tend the world so we don't burn out. We need to find our sustainable impetus. How we do the work is a declaration of how we want to be. I don't actually want to be outraged. I am outraged. But it's not the core of who I really want to be in the world. I think it's necessary and rational in these times. But I don't want to live in a world of outrage. It's not healthy for living things. And I think gratitude, I think of gratitude not necessarily as a juniper growing out of red rock, but I think of it as the water that gently softens the soil for possibility. It doesn't erase the hardness immediately, and it may just flow right through at first. But over time, I think gratitude can change the texture, making room for roots to grow. I think of gratitude as a way of reminding us of the fecundity of life. It reminds us of possibility and vitality, and my weary heart aches for it. I'm thirsty for gratitude. So, and I'm not talking about platitudes. I'm not talking about looking on the bright side and bypassing pain and wearing rose-colored glasses. I think gratitude also requires us to stay awake to life, even when it's hard, so that we can see what is still possible. As I was writing this sermon, I began to lose track of whether I was writing about hope or gratitude. Both can keep us going if we cultivate them. And I collected many stories of resistance and mutual aid, and they gave me hope. The tamale vendor in Rogers Park, who people are coming together and buying out their daily stock so they don't have to sit out and be at risk of abduction. The food pantries overflowing with donations from caring people. The group of self-described suburban moms, some of which are from my neighborhood, sitting in a circle outside the ICE detention facility in Broadview, getting arrested immediately. All of these things, they bring me both gratitude and hope. Look what we're doing to take care of each other. Even the whistles I see being passed out to help people, warn people about ICE. I wear one. I haven't had to use it yet, but I clutch it often. So I see us resisting, and I see us caring and helping each other in tangible ways. And thinking about the connection between hope and gratitude, for me, hope is a bit more of a thought experiment. Hope asks, what are the possibilities? What kind of future do we wish to see? And that visioning is necessary, I think. And hope faces forward into that future. But I think gratitude roots us here, noticing what already is, so that we can resource ourselves for the possibilities. I think gratitude grounds us in the here and now so that hope can grow. And gratitude requires persistent tending. So this month, as I've said, we've been invited into a practice of prayer. And prayer is one of the many ways I practice gratitude. Not necessarily a prayer of thanks. Again, definitely not a prayer of petition. Sometimes it's just breathing and noticing, like a meditation. Feeling the feet under my ground and the beating of my heart. Remembering that I am alive and connected. When I pray, I'm not trying to escape the world's pain. I'm acknowledging the world moving through me. I'm in the here and now, reminding myself of the interconnection with it, feeling often the pain of the world as a big part of that. But the pain and the gratitude are not mutually exclusive. They're both in the here and now. And that's why I think you have to make room for both. And that's work, but it's also a gift. To stay connected to the hurting in the world takes skill and practice and courage. And it can also be deeply rewarding when we see the ways that we can impact each other when we're attuned to what's real for them. The grief work of staying present, this metaphor is getting out of hand, but the grief work I think of as the fertilizer. The grief fertilizes the soil, and the gratitude waters and softens it. And as a scientist, I had to bring in a little bit of research. There have been so many scientific studies about the efficacy of gratitude on our well-being. It changes our bodies and our brains. And here's just a couple of peer-reviewed studies. In 2023, there was a meta-analysis of 64 randomized clinical trials, And it found that gratitude interventions like journaling and reflection and writing thank you letters to other people significantly increased a sense of well-being and reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. There's many more studies. I'll leave it at that. Expressing gratitude stimulates the release of dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters in the brain that are associated with happiness and your reward system and pleasure. And it also triggers the release of oxytocin, which I talked about a month ago. Oxytocin being the bonding hormone. It promotes social bonding and trust. Regularly practicing gratitude rewires the brain and the body. It helps us shift into mindsets of abundance and possibility. And it can feel very theoretical when I'm witnessing ice-related terror, but it is a practice, one moment at a time. And this is long-haul nurturing. This is building the resilience that we need to keep showing up for one another, to grow, to expand our hearts and minds, and to build a world grounded in nurturance. It shifts us from the depleting mechanisms of stress and fear and replenishes our sense of possibility and abundance and hope. Gratitude grounds us in the here and now so that hope can grow. I venture that many of you come into places like these looking for that nurturance, looking to be renewed and find the hope and find the connection so that you can keep going in your life. So maybe today we can practice a little bit of soil tending together. I'm going to invite you, if you wish, to quietly think of 3 things that you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my religious spiritual guides, I will call him, though I've never met him. I've read so many of his books. He would talk about his gratitude for his non-toothache. He would talk about how we don't necessarily appreciate the things we have in our life until they're gone. So he would practice being grateful for his non-toothache, among other things. So by his example, maybe you find something about your body to be grateful for. Maybe you find something about someone you love to be grateful for. Or something in the world. Or maybe even a hard part of life that has taught you something. A grief that became fertilizer. I'll go first. I'm grateful to be relatively able-bodied for now. I know it's temporary. I'm grateful for each of you co-creating this space together. I'm grateful for the ways that you help me keep going and enrich my spirit. I'm grateful for the small miracles of life, the softness of my cat's fur, the forgiveness of my children when I forget to be present with them, the axial tilt that gives us the seasons of hibernation and renewal. What are you grateful for? Each act of noticing, each small prayer of thank you is a way of softening the soil and letting the life back in. Practicing gratitude in hard times does not make us complacent, it makes us capable. It grounds us so that we can keep working for a world where no one lives in fear of being taken, where care and compassion are built into our systems, not stripped from them. Gratitude softens the soil so that we can grow a more nurturing life. The world doesn't need more scorched earth righteousness. It needs more cultivators to keep us going for the long haul. Will you cultivate gratitude with me? Will you find ways to express that gratitude to one another, maybe even during kinship time after service? We can water each other's soil too. So may we replenish our spirits one watering, one noticing, one breath at a time. And so may it be. Ashe and amen.
As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
May the soil of our hearts soften. May we remember small mercies that keep us going. May gratitude ground us in sustaining beauty. And may our hearts soften in that hope, so in its time, hope may find root there. Go in peace. Go in love.